Welcome to the Munro Review, where it's all about connecting, sharing, and valuing the arts in the central San Joaquin Valley. I'm Donald Munro. Today is June 28th, and we are here to talk about the busy art scene in July. Just how busy is it? We are gearing up today to bring you the biggest episode of the Munro Review ever. On today's show, we'll feature an in-depth interview I conducted on location with Louise Mandrell, who is returning to star in the musical Calamity Jane for Good Company Players. We highlight CSU Summer Arts, which will fill the month with loads of great performances and lectures. We'll go behind the scenes at a photo shoot for Selma Art Center's Be More Chill, and in studio we'll be joined by folks from Stageworks Fresno production of Mamma Mia. So much to talk about. But first, let's take a look at some of what I've been covering on MunroReview.com. One of the biggest musicals of the season is still going strong. Newsies is at Roger Rocca's Dinner Theater through July 14th, and it's a rousing local premiere for this dance-heavy and anthem-heavy show. Director Lori Pisano puts together an enthusiastic, scrappy production that radiates goodwill and plays up its underdog spirit. Jacob Phelan makes a great Jack, the seasoned newsie who convinces his fellow workers to strike against the newspaper barons of New York. Maya Jengosian, who performed on this CMAC show a couple of episodes ago, is a standout Catherine, his new crush. And a special nod goes to the team of Broadway Media Distribution for its beautiful and innovative projection design. By the end, you'll be volunteering to walk a picket line. The Fresno Philharmonic announced its new season, and it includes the exciting news that in one concert, music director Ray Hotoda will play the piano and conduct the orchestra at the same time. This is something I've long been waiting for. She's accomplished this feat in other places, but not yet in Fresno. She'd often hinted to me that that experience was coming, but couldn't tell me when. That'll be in January. Other highlights of the season include renowned pianist Barry Douglas, Chicago Symphony trumpet player John Hagstrom, and the Disney Concerts presentation of Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, with the Fresno Philharmonic performing Danny Elfman's beloved soundtrack live to the film. You can read all about this and much more on MunroReview.com. Now let's get to today's show. 7 years ago, Good Company Players brought in country singer Louise Mandrell to play the title role in Calamity Jane. And that was a big deal. If you are of a certain age, you remember Louise every week on the TV variety show Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell Sisters. Now she's returning to Fresno for a revival of Calamity Jane. It opens July 18th at Roger Rocca's Dinner Theater. Producer Kyle Lowe and I got to spend some time with Louise backstage at the theater a few weeks ago. Here's our interview. So, Louise, it is so good to see you. It's like those 7 years just didn't even happen, right?
Well,
what is it like to be back in Fresno?
Well, first of all, it's really great to see you.
Oh, thank you.
7 years ago, you were one of my very first friends here in Fresno. And I enjoyed that time. And with you, I don't know if you remember this, but the very first time that we met was by phone. And I was chasing my dog in the backyard.
That's right. That's right.
And you were so patient with me. And you're so easy to care about.
Oh,
and
well, thank you.
I really appreciate all the years of friendship. Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. Well, I know that people here are really excited that you are coming back. Tell us how that happened. Did you figure you'd wait a while and then come back and reprise the role?
Well, the last time I was here, my daughter was expecting my first and only grandchild, and I decided I didn't like the sound of daycare. Not that there's not some great daycares, but those first few years are really important in molding a child and their personality and their heart. So I decided I would be daycare, and I've had a great time, but she's graduating kindergarten, so it's time for me to move on to other things like coming back here and playing. And she's going to see me on stage for the first time. That's
wonderful.
Pretty cool.
So her name is Larkin.
Larkin.
And
yes.
Does she like to sing?
She does. I think she will be a better actress than singer, but she wants to be a singer. Maybe she'll be able to do it all. I know that this time to Deadwood, as Calamity Jane going to Deadwood, I will have a chance to do it all. Lori, and when they invited me back, Lori said that I needed to bring my instruments. She had tried to convince me that Calamity Jane played instruments the first time around. And when she brought it back up, I said, no, Calamity Jane did not play instruments. She said, Calamity Jane did not sing and dance. This is entertainment. Bring your instruments. So
this is Lori Pisano, who is
the director
of the show, and really helped shape your performance last time, right?
As in, taught me everything that I know, and I'm still learning from her. She is incredible, and I think one of the things that was really perfect is when I first came here 7 years ago, she was in a show, and so I had a chance to see her act before she ever directed me. And so she had already learned earned my respect, so when she told me to do something, I would do it. And if I didn't look right doing it, she would change it. But I came here and became a sponge, and that's what I'm doing again. I'm a sponge, and I'm continuing to learn and loving every minute of it.
I remember you liked that word sponge. Lori wanted you to play some instruments. Now, I remember you played the fiddle last time, but you're bringing two.
Yes, well, I played the fiddle as an encore.
As an encore.
Because I said, okay, I'll bring the fiddle if I can play it as Louise Mandrell. And I said, and if the audience isn't really into everything, I'm not going to do it. But the audience just kept standing up, so it's like, oh, I can relate to that. Country music, they stand up, you know. So I would bring out the fiddle and do an encore, and I'll still do that if they, if the audience wants more, and that means stand up. But no, I love people, and that's why I'm having so much fun. I really like music, and I enjoy entertaining. But the reason that I enjoy it is because I love people. And that's why I stay after and sign autographs, because it just gives me a chance to meet everybody, get their input, and hear about them.
And you sometimes had a really long line of people who wanted to talk to you.
And you know what? I ate it up with a spoon. I'm a middle child. I need the attention.
So getting back to the instruments, you are going to be playing the harmonica and the banjo, and you had to kind of brush up on both of those, right?
Yes, it had. Well, I've never played the harmonica before, and I thought harmonica's easy. I've heard people pick it up and blow a tune, but what happens is they pick it up and they blow a tune, but it's 4 or 5 notes at a time, and I wanted to learn this like a professional, the single notes and the slurring of the notes, and I put a lot of time into it, and I've ended up enjoying it. My dog Bobby that was here last time, she's not coming back with me, but she hates the harmonica. And when I played the banjo, which I had not played in 35 years, when I played the banjo, she danced. She loved the banjo, but she hated the harmonica. But I'm also bringing an accordion, and of course the fiddle, which I'll play during the show, and then if the audience is really into it and wants more, I'll play some more.
So I know that you're going to be updating the show a little bit, just to make it a little more contemporary, but it's essentially the same story?
Well, it is a story where I like it because it's where women have an opportunity to notice we can have it all. We can have it all. We can fit in with all the guys, and yet we can be a woman, we can fall in love. But I love this story because she not only discovers that she loves Bill, but she discovers what it feels like to be loved back. And so it's a really warm, loving ending. She discovers it's okay she has a girlfriend, the guys like her, the townspeople like her, and I relate to that because I've always been a little bit of a kindergartner, because if someone's mad at me, I can't stand it. Everybody has to be happy, everybody has to like me, and so Calamity's the same way. She can't stand it if anybody's unhappy.
So for people who didn't get to see the show the first time and who have never seen the show at all, because it really isn't done very often, how do you pitch it? What do you tell people it's about?
Well, first of all, I don't think there's ever been a play written that I could be more comfortable with than Calamity Jane. I mean, I'm coming to town with my gun and twirling it and my whip, and which I really can crack a whip, and my instruments, but most of all, Calamity Jane is an entertainer. She tells these great stories, and she exaggerates them a little bit, but that's because she wants to entertain people. And if you want to be entertained, you need to meet Calamity Jane because she is an entertainer. And I had a lady ask me one time, she said, why would you want to go be Calamity Jane when you can go somewhere with your 10-piece band and your 10 dancers and do a production show and be Louise Mandrell? Why would you want to go be Calamity Jane? The truth is, as Louise Mandrell, I can entertain and I can be so big. But Calamity Jane, there's nothing that holds her back. She can be as off the chart as she wants to be. She can be bigger than life because she's a character. And she really is a character, but I love it. It's playing make-believe. So I want to encourage everybody to come, be a kid, join us, have fun, and share in a really good story, and be a part of it.
Calamity Jane runs July 18th through September 15th, and you can watch an extended version of this interview, including an update on what Louise and her famous sisters are up to back home on MunroReview.com. So if it's summer, it's time for CSU Summer Arts. This happy program includes a public festival at Fresno State through the month of July, featuring some amazing artists and performers. We're happy to welcome a Summer Arts veteran back to Fresno, Jim Spalding, the program's interim director, and Joanne Sharp, the assistant director. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So it is not a hot Fresno day today. What's going on with the weather? You're used to a broiling Fresno summer,
I'm from
right?
the Palm Springs area. My home right now is 87 degrees. That's inside. Outside is about 105.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'm cold today.
I know that we always joke for the students and the artists who come. It's like summer arts is in a pretty hot time of year, so it's a kind of a vacation for them, I guess you could say.
One of our course coordinators years ago created the phrase, Fresno, it's hotter than hell.
That's an oft-used expression, I'm sure, in town. So Joanne, tell us a little bit about Summer Arts.
So, Summer Arts is a Cal State system-wide program. We put on master classes in theater, music, dance, visual arts, creative writing, and then new technologies like animation or cinematography. It's not just for Cal State students. In fact, students from all over the world come and take summer arts classes, and we will have students with us this summer in Fresno from Mexico and Italy and Russia and England. And they come because these world-class instructors teaching these very intensive master classes, it's something you really can't get anywhere else, this level of intensity with this level of world-class artistry instructing you.
So there are 2 sessions, right? So two-week sessions that students come to. And then during this time, the public is invited to come to these different concerts and lectures.
Yeah, a lot of our faculty who are here to teach and work with the students during the day will put on a public event for the Fresno public. Almost every evening, the month of July, we have something going on, and on several days we have more than one something going on.
I know, sometimes I get the program and I just look at it and I'm like, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that. It's like you could really spend the entire month doing it. So, Jim, you are returning to Summer Arts.
I am.
After
7 years.
We bade you farewell 7 years ago.
Yeah.
What is it like for you to come back to Fresno?
It's much like I've never left. I mean, I've been here only 3 days this time, and meeting people like you who I've met before, old friends, and I love Fresno. I love the community. I love the support that the Summer Arts gets. It's really fabulous for me to be back in Fresno.
Now, one of my favorite parts of the opening night of Summer Arts is when you would get up and you would tell the students, well, you tell me, what do you say to them?
This time I'll have a few surprises that I haven't done before.
Okay.
But my favorite thing is saying, I have the best job in the world. And I do. I get to come to here to meet artists, to meet course coordinators, but mainly to meet students who are excited about what it is they're going to do for 2 weeks. And then at the end of the 2-week session, whatever they've been working on, they'll make a presentation of that. And that's, for me, the most exciting time.
And Joanne, I know that one of the fun things for you is you kind of wander around sometimes and just are able to pop in on some of these amazing creative sessions that are going on.
Yes, sir.
What is that like for you?
Oh, all the time. I am almost embarrassingly groupie-like for some of our classes. Every couple years there'll be a class or 2 or 3 classes that I can't get out of. We did a printmaking class a couple years ago. I was in that classroom every day for at least part of the time. It's just so exciting, and the class dynamic that gets created, sometimes you get these students from all over the world and they come together and they work together and they all become something bigger than they are as individuals, and it's just addictive to be able to be in those classes and see what's going on. It's really, really cool.
So even though the temptation is for people to want to go every night, you can't necessarily do that.
Oh, sure,
can you give
can.
us? You can. Can you give us, some highlights of this year's program?
I will tell you some. Our kickoff event Monday night. It is an acrobatic comedy called The Bossy Flyer Presents I Hate My Roommate, and they'll be using acro yoga techniques and some aerialist stuff and putting it all together with comedy. I'm really excited about that. We have a French piano concert on Saturday the 6th that will feature, I think it's 6 different world-class pianists coming in and performing for the evening. On July 8th, we have something that is always a favorite of mine, but if you're not a stage combat geek, you might wonder what it's going to be, but we do a stage combat presentation on Monday the 8th, and lots of people from Fresno have been to these before, but what's unique about this year is they're doing more of a theatrical event. It's not just a lecture demo. They will actually be doing Shakespearean scenes, real stage combat. And then, of course, we have Diavolo concert on July 19th. They've been to Fresno with Summer Arts several times. And then
and that's the well-known dance company.
Yeah,
Right.
Even more so now that they've been on, is it America's Got Talent that they went on? But yeah, and we talked about this. The tickets in Los Angeles for Diavolo start, the cheap seats are about $75, and that's a $25 ticket here in Fresno. All of these shows, these are world-class shows. We're doing an Afro-Caribbean jazz concert, same thing, people from all over the world, including some Ballet favorites. John Santos is coming over from San Francisco again to perform, and Grammy winner Doug Beavers will be there. And then, like Jim mentioned, my absolute favorite, and these are free. They're 4 days, chock full of free student events. That's July 12, 13, 26, and 27. And that, I think, I've been doing this for a very long time, and there has never been a summer when I've gone out to see what the students have created and not been blown away. It's never become routine.
It really
Every
is
single time.
magical, isn't it? You get out there and you just say, I cannot believe that these are students who are doing this. So, Jim, why do you think Summer Arts is so special?
It's special for a lot of reasons, but there's 2 main reasons. One, the students come for 12 days to work only on their art form. Some of them 16, 18, 20 hours a day, and they live and sleep and eat that for that time, and it's really exciting for them. And the other most important thing is at the end of that, they get to show what it is they've been doing. And as Joanne says, it's really exciting. The guest artists that come, students have a chance to work with these first-class people for a week, 2 weeks at a time. It's inspiring.
And one of the great things is that there are these connections being made between the students and the artists, and who knows who's going to be inspired in this next group of students. I know, Joanne, you've told me that sometimes you can kind of wander through the dorms late at night, and it becomes like a big late night jam session of all students from all different disciplines.
Yeah, it does. Well, as you know, as everybody knows, at about 10, 11 o'clock at night, it's cool enough to go outside, and people go outside, and sometimes the sprinklers are on in the dorm lawns, and the students are running through it, or the dancers are dancing, and the drummers are drumming, and the poets are writing about it. Like, it's just, it sounds cheesy to hear the words come out of my mouth like it would be, heavy-handed if somebody wrote that in a movie, but it's real, and it really happens, these things, and these collaborations, and that's the showcases too. They're always full of surprises. You never know which writing student is going to be invited to come and perform with the jazz students and do a little riff on what they've been writing for the 2 weeks. Like, something really surprising always happens just because of the dorm environment.
Well, it is a great program, a great festival. Remind us, when does it begin and when does it end?
It begins tonight, Monday, July the 1st, and ends July the 27th. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Right.
And you can get all that information at csummerarts.org.
Perfect.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming in and
Thank you, Donna.
talking with us. I know people in Fresno were excited for Summer Arts to come back, so we are happy to have you.
Happy to be here.
Thank you.
Well, like I say, for more information on the festival, be sure to check out that website, csusummerarts.org. Now we're going to shift gears back to theater. Be More Chill is a musical that took off thanks to the power of social media all the way to Broadway. Selma Arts Center nabbed the rights to perform the show first in the Valley, and it's a highly anticipated title in the Fresno area theater scene. The entire cast came down to CMAC for the show's official photo shoot, and I was there behind the scenes. Here's the story. So we're here at CMAC today for a special behind-the-scenes look at the photo shoot for Selma Arts Center's Be More Chill.
We're like, yo, turn it up as we stumble to the sound. Cause our Halloween party's a mad excuse to put your body through mad abuse. And I might have sound.
So I've heard a lot about Be More Chill, and I know it is a really highly anticipated title, but I actually don't know that much about it. So we're here with Miguel Castellum, who is the director of the Selma production. What's your 1 minute synopsis or pitch for people?
I think my favorite descriptor of the show that I've heard is it's a mix of Dear Evan Hansen and Little Shop of Horrors had a baby. So it's this crazy sci-fi adventure. It's really centers around this high school junior, Jeremy, and he really just kind of struggles to fit in. He wants to fit in. He wants to do more than just get by. And so he hears about this pill he can take. It's called a SQUIP, Super Quantum Unit Intel Processor. And when he takes the pill and he drinks it with Mountain Dew, you have to drink it with Mountain Dew, the chip implants in his brain and it kind of tells him what to do. And then so it's cool in the show, you see the SQUIP manifest as a human. He takes the form of Keanu Reeves. And he has different settings if he wants to change him, but he likes Keanu Reeves. And so the SQUIP kind of helps him to become cool, become chill, I should say. And and of course, as we all know, something like that can't go well, so mayhem ensues.
We could connect if I get wrecked. You could rock.
You play the character of Jeremy.
Yes.
Tell us just a little bit about him.
Jeremy is Jeremy's just uncool. Jeremy is one of the least cool people there is. And he strives to be cool. He wants that more than anything, is to just be part of the group, I think.
I'm not really a big drinker.
It's pretty amazing because Be More Chill just opened on Broadway, and you're doing it in Selma. Can you remind us how that happened? I mean, that doesn't usually happen.
Yeah,
in the Fresno area.
no, definitely not. When I pitched the show to Selma was last summer around this time actually, and at that time it was off Broadway and they had there was no inkling of them going to Broadway. But then actually I think it was the Wednesday before they were going to announce the season on Saturday, they announced that they were transferring to Broadway. So we all kind of panicked a little bit because we thought, oh, definitely they're going to pull the rights. But no, we reached out to the licensor and they were like, no, as long as you pay you'll be fine. And I actually read an interview with the producers and the creative team about how they didn't want to pull the rights because they felt that was the community productions and the fan base online is really what got them to be where they are, and so they wanted to still honor any upcoming productions and stuff. So that was really cool and really fortunate for us.
Hi, my name's Jessica Meredith, and I'm playing Jenna Rowland in Be More Chill. Her character is kind of the high school gossip. She always knows the tea, always knows what's going on, more than what she should. I think it's pretty fun, very different from me personally, but I think she's a fun character. She brings a lot of life to the show.
So you weren't a gossip then in real life?
No, I'm not a gossip, but this character she's pretty fun because she's not the popular one in school, but she kind of inserts herself in by knowing information, and that's only the sad part because that's when people kind of want her around. So.
Are you cool?
It depends on who you ask, I guess.
So if you asked, say, 50 people who know you, how many would say that you're cool?
Maybe 20.
That's pretty good. I'd say that's
the close friends,
Yeah, sure. Okay.
To Whitney through through the door.
So you're here at a photo shoot today.
Yes.
What's that like for you? Is that kind of fun to...
It's fun. It's a little nerve-wracking just being in the front of the camera. We're going to have some fun looks going on. Our show is a lot of modern and 90s inspiration, so we're going to have a lot of fun getting into it.
So there's like, you have to be an actor today.
Yes.
In terms of like getting that look for the camera.
Definitely.
I choke back the tears. I'll wait as long as I need till my face is dry or out.
A show like this that's so popular in New York and has such name recognition, do you find, does that translate to the Valley? Are you able to kind of tap into that popularity?
Yeah, I definitely think so. The album was actually one of the most streamed musical theater album of all time. I think it had like over 300 million online streams. So there's definitely a fan base. And what was really cool was when I went to New York, I was fortunate enough to go backstage, and I was able to chat with some of the actors and one of the producers, and they were telling me about one of the first productions outside of the original New Jersey production that happened in 2015. They had people flying in from different countries to come see the show, and that the theater company had to hire security for the actors because they would get mobbed like after the show. So I definitely think, I know just from within the theater community how much of a cult following it has here. So I definitely think that, yeah, that popularity is here within our community.
And why do you think this story is so popular and resonates, particularly with younger people?
Yeah, I think, well, it does deal with some heavy topics like depression and anxiety and drug abuse to some extent. And I think that they're heavy topics, but it deals with it in such a lighthearted way that really makes people are able to connect to it. Like he makes it, Joe Iconis and Joe Trace have made it so relatable, and like Michael in the Bathroom, which was really the song that took off. And it's something that, a situation we've all been in. You're somewhere you don't want to be, you got ditched by your friend, and you're having a panic attack essentially, and you're like, I can't leave. So I think they just did such a great job of capturing those sentiments and those feelings through song and through the book, and it's just really great. And I think younger kids especially, just really don't have that kind of material that deals with it in a way that doesn't make it scary, I guess.
You think that you know Michael in the bathroom by himself, all by himself, all by himself. All you know.
Be More Chill runs July 19th through July 27th, and tickets will be limited. Be sure to plan ahead. For our next guests, this summer is all about ABBA. Stageworks Fresno presents its biggest show yet, a massive and exuberant production of Mamma Mia. We are joined in the studio today with the three dynamos, Amelie Larson, Valerie Rochelle, and Ethel Burrell, and director Joel Aples. Welcome to you all.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. So, why don't we go through and just kind of do introductions and tell us which character you're playing. We all know who you are, Joel. So
I'm a character. Yes.
so Valerie.
Yes, my name is Valerie Rochelle, and I'm playing Tanya.
And just to remind those of us who don't remember necessarily character names, so Tonya is kind of the often married.
Yes, yes. Tanya has had 3 husbands and likes to jet set around the world.
She's the jet setter.
Yeah.
Okay. Ethel.
Hi, I'm Ethel Burrell, and my character that I play is Rosie. And she's the fun, doesn't want babies, doesn't want to settle down. She has a cookbook, whole woman press, so she's the glue for these 2 ladies.
Gotcha. And
I don't know if they would think differently.
And I'm Amelie Larson, and I am playing Donna. I am the one who has, problems telling who the father of my daughter is.
Which is basically
Spoiler alert, you've ruined the show.
I know, I'm sorry.
Thanks.
So sorry.
It's basically how they put this whole show together, right? I mean, it's one of those amazing jukebox musicals that somehow they got a plot out of all those ABBA songs.
It works together, and all the music it's not just like, oh, let's sing a song. It's, this song actually works in this part of the musical. It keeps furthering the plot, which is great.
So, when we're talking about ABBA, what's your favorite ABBA song? And we'll start with you, Joel.
Waterloo. And Dancing Queen.
Dancing Queen, okay.
Waterloo and Dancing Queen.
My favorites are The Name of the Game and The Winner Takes It All.
Okay,
Those are my two.
Ethel.
I love Dancing Queen and Take a Chance on Me. Those are just fun.
What else did you say earlier?
Fernando.
See?
But that's not in the show, right?
It is.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Like
Kind of, she
2
hums
seconds.
it kind of. But yeah.
Okay.
But they took all mine because mine are Waterloo and took a chance on me.
So what is it about Dancing Queen that you think just makes people happy?
It's just a joyous song. I mean, it has, it just feels like a celebration. I know that seems kind of cliche, but it does. And it's fun, and it's the beat, and it's the melody, and it's repetitive, which is what a good song is, and sticks in your brain sometimes for days.
It's amazing.
And it does make you want to dance.
Yeah.
You want to get up
Right.
and dance.
Right.
There's not a wedding or a bar mitzvah or a quinceañera where if you go and play that, you are not
Right.
all up on the dance floor dancing.
Right.
It's loved by all ages. My 5-year-old daughter loves the song.
It embodies youth. You remember your youth and how you just would get in front of the mirror and dance in the mirror to Madonna.
Right.
Yeah.
And just dance.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So this production is being held in Sheboygan Hall, which is a really big theater.
Oh, yes, it is.
So you got to have a really big production for that,
754
right?
seats, yeah. Yes.
So tell us about it, Joel. What can we expect?
I wanted to, it was kind of inspired by the Hollywood Bowl concert version a few years back, and I thought, why not produce it on a larger scale in the Sheboygan. Les Mis and Masterclass are 2 other shows that we have performed in that space, which is not really a traditional theater space. It's more of a concert hall, as you mentioned. But we're pulling out all the stops and building a 2-story taverna.
And yesterday I actually went out to the scene shop to see these giant sets that you're building.
Yes. Many pieces.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And a huge cast too.
Yeah, we have numbers. It just grows every day. 2 other people arrive every day. It's close. It's like 35, 40.
35 or 40. That's
yeah.
That's a pretty big deal.
It is.
So Valerie, you have never performed in Fresno before, but you actually directed here. Tell us that story.
I directed Showboat for Fresno Grand Opera back in 2012.
And that's where you met Joel.
That's where I met Joel. Yeah.
And have you ever played Tanya before?
I have not.
And what made you want to take this part?
Well, I've directed the show twice before, so I love it. And Joel was visiting in Ashland, and we were having coffee, and he's like, "Wait a minute, you're in your 40s.
I don't think I said it quite like that, but
You sing and dance. Do you want to come perform?" And I'm like, I might be able to do so. And I actually had a break in my schedule, and was like, I'm going to go have fun.
we've been trying to work together in some way for the last 4 years.
Because I kind of like him, just a little bit. Yeah.
Obviously.
She's living with us too, so it's,
You come from Ashland to Fresno in the summer, yeah. You
Yes,
must really like
I better really like
You
Joel to
must
do
really like
that.
So Amelie, I wanted to ask you about the mother part of this. It's a very poignant role to play. What is that like for you?
It is really sensitive, actually. Especially when I was practicing slipping through my fingers, it's. I think about because I have 3 daughters, and so I definitely am channeling some method acting there, because I'm just picturing that moment with all 3 of them, and it's emotional to even talk about, just because I'm so excited to be a mom and a friend to my 3 girls as they get older. And I was just telling Maisie, she still likes to hold my hand when we go out in public. She's 11. I said, someday you may not want to hold my hand in public. And she said, no, I'll always want to hold your
she's
hand.
an amazing mother.
I said,
amazing
okay.
mother.
So it's really, it's a great gift to be able to get to play this part and draw on that as well.
And it's fun, and it's interesting how the ABBA songs can be really fun and bouncy, but then the next song can actually be really tender and heartfelt and makes you want to go.
Yeah, exactly.
It does. Oh, yeah,
Up a second.
absolutely.
Yeah, you think, why am I crying? This is like a fun, kind of cheeky musical, and then all of a sudden I'm having this emotional moment. But I think that's what makes this show work. It's not just all at this one level all the time. There is those kind of, highs and lows.
Now you ladies get decked out in what I'm assuming are really wild, wild costumes. How many costume changes do you have in the show?
5, and if you count 2 jumpsuits, that would be 6.
I have about the same.
Yeah, I think I have maybe 1 or 2 less, but yeah.
And so
I have none.
You have none? You get
in this show, in La Cage. I've got about 9.
Yeah. So what is it like to wear a jumpsuit? This is like the most uncomfortable thing. things ever.
Actually, it's actually really comfortable because
Really?
it's all very soft and stretchy.
Yeah.
I'm not quite in love with how tight they are, but they're actually really comfortable to wear.
Yeah.
And mine has fringe, so I'm happy.
Oh, so you get to do the fringe.
I get fringe.
Ethel gets the cape, which
She gets a cape. She gets
Really?
to be a superhero.
And she's getting some new sleeves, so she's gonna
good.
have
She's
some.
gonna have
She's gonna have
something.
some fun sleeves.
fun
so.
sleeves. So it's gonna be fun.
So one of the most important things in Mamma Mia is the vocals, and those parts, those harmonies are so exquisite. How is that accomplished live? I assume that the whole cast is behind the scenes.
A lot of the ensemble will be mic'd. We have condensers backstage so that when they're off stage, just to get a better, more unified sound, we'll have them at those. We also have a small group of pit singers that do nothing but sing the entire show.
So they
They'll be
add
sitting
that
and-
kind
yes.
of texture, because I guess like up to eight different parts.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sometimes.
at times.
But it wouldn't be ABBA if you didn't have that.
No, not at all. Yeah.
So tell us when Mamma Mia is playing, and then I also want to throw in La Cage.
Absolutely. Mamma Mia is only running for 3 days, the 12th, the 13th, and 14th of July.
And basically because it's so big, right?
Because it's such a big show, and the venue is expensive. Everything's more expensive when you go bigger, and so we are cramming it all into that one weekend. So it's really only 4 performances, very limited. We're there and we're gone. Friday night we open on the 12th. 2 shows on Saturday, matinee and an evening, and then we close Sunday the 12th. And then we strike the show out of the space. We have to be out of the space by midnight because there's a dance concert in the space the next morning. So it's it's a lot of fun. And then we turn around a week and a half later and open La Cage Full, which is a Fresno premiere.
And that'll be in the smaller...
That'll be in the Dan Pisano
Theater.
And that'll be a 3-week run, so people can take a break from Mamma Mia for a week, but then come back.
And you play Alban.
I play, yes, if you're familiar with the Birdcage, I play the Nathan Lane role.
So you talk about costume changes.
I have, currently, the plot for me, I have 10 costumes.
Wow.
7 of which are in drag. I have 7 wigs and 4 pair of heels, and it's a lot.
Well,
it's a lot.
We will check back with you in about a month to see if
Yes.
you are still sane after doing shows back to back. So
hopefully.
Well, we are going to return in a few minutes with a musical number from Mamma Mia to close the episode. I'm really excited about that. But first, let's take a look at the list, a selection of things to do during the month of July. There's lots more theater of which to partake this month. A touring production titled Friends, the musical parody, makes a stop at Fresno's Tower Theater on July 11th. If you missed the outside version of the Comedy of Errors this spring at Woodward Shakespeare Festival, you can escape the heat and watch it indoors when it reopens on July 12th at California Arts Academy Severance Theater. Legally Blonde, the musical, opens July 25th, performed by Center Stage Clovis Community Theater. And a very busy Stageworks Fresno, as we just mentioned, opens its second show of the month on July 26th, La Cage Full. When we return, we get to hear some ABBA. Now let's welcome the ladies of Stageworks Fresno's Mamma Mia, here to perform Dancing Queen.
You have nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, screw them if they can't take a joke.
You can dance, you can jive, having the time of your life. Ooh, see that girl, watch that scene, begin the dancing queen. Ooh, look what we found in your trunk, baby. Here, Rosie. Friday night and the lights are low, looking out for a place to go, where they play the right music, getting in the swing. You've got to look for a king. Thank you very much. Everybody could be that guy. Now it's young and the music's high. With a bit of rock music, everything's fine. You're in the mood for a dance. Oh yeah, you are. a dance. And when you get the chance, you are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17. Dancing queen, feel the beat from the tambourine. Oh yeah, you can dance, you can jive, having the time of your life. Ooh, see that girl, watch that scene, digging the dancing queen. Woo, yeah, baby. Digging the dancing queen. Time to bring it home, ladies. Go. See that girl, watch that scene, digging the dancing queen.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That song just makes you happy. Well, that wraps it up for this month's episode of the Munro Review. Be sure to keep up online at munroreview.com for previews, reviews, giveaways, profiles, and more. A big thank you to our volunteer crew. A thank you to our guests, Jim Spalding, Amelie Larson, Valerie Rochelle, Ethel Burrell, and of course, Louise Mandrell and the cast of Be More Chill. And for all of you, please keep exploring and supporting the local arts scene. We'll see you next time.